Okay, so trying to conceive, where are we with that? This is another big thing going on right now. I'm on cycle day 34. I normally have 27-day cycles, so I'm late, but I'm not pregnant. This is not something that's happened to me for a very long time. I mean, I've been tracking my periods for many years now, and I had finally gotten to a point where my cycles were regular, because before having Alex, I would have, you know, cycles where I would not ovulate and my period would come after like 24 days instead of like 28. And then I would have a cycle where it was like 45 days. And then it would go back to like ovulatory 28-day cycles, like normal cycles for a few months, and then it would kind of repeat that pattern. After having my son, that kind of went away. I guess I didn't really have a period for a year or so after having my son. But after I stopped breastfeeding, you know, constantly during the day, that's when it came back. And I had regular cycles after that. And certainly, I mean, he's 5 now, so he's been weaned for a few years. My cycles have been very regular, and I haven't had any issues. The only issues that I had would have been, well, I had a couple of miscarriages thrown in. Jordan and I had an accidental pregnancy, and then that was a miscarriage around 7 weeks, and then had a chemical pregnancy after that, and then had an ectopic pregnancy. And of course my cycle after the ectopic was off, but after I got that next period, it just went right back to where it was supposed to be. And then we had another chemical pregnancy back in December or January, where that one was like, I thought I was pregnant, took a test, it was negative, got my period the next day, but then my period was really weird because it ended after like 2 days. And then a week went by, and I didn't think anything of it, but Jordan was like, you need to take a test because of how I was acting. I guess he really was convinced that I was pregnant. I'm like, I just had my period like a week ago. Like, this is not... So to get him to shut up, I took a test and it was positive, and I immediately burst into tears because I knew it wasn't good, because like I bled a lot, and I had never had a pregnancy where I bled and still had a kid. So to me, bleeding was a really bad thing. Yes, I know things can happen like subchorionic hemorrhage, etc., but I knew. Yeah. For how far along I was too, I knew my test should have been darker. So I went in, got a blood test done. Sure enough, my level was like 21. Yeah, I wasn't pregnant anymore. So had another chemical pregnancy. We've been trying to conceive ever since, and so that's been since January, and we have not, we have had month after month of nothing. And it's a bit tough. It really is. Trying and not getting pregnant is not something that I'm used to. Granted, I'm working with 1 tube now, so there's that. 2, holy buckets, it's been stressful. And then 3, now I know that I apparently have an autoimmune disease, and that's likely contributing to why I am not getting pregnant. On top of that too, I'm struggling with something else as well. MTHFR, it's a methylation gene, and I have 2 abnormal copies, so still have to work up that aspect and figure out what's going on there, because I very well could have a clotting issue on top of having an autoimmune disease. And so yeah, that's something I'm having to wade through as well, and so likely have some answers for why I've been not able to get pregnant, and then when I finally do get pregnant, I miscarry right away. So yeah, we're trying to figure out. If I do get pregnant, it'll be an extremely high risk pregnancy. Likely will end up needing Lovenox injections and frequent monitoring and lots of ultrasounds. So that's really hard to navigate right now with COVID-19 and all of the restrictions with clinics. And so with my pending diagnosis, I have an autoimmune disease. I'm seeing a rheumatologist in 2 weeks, and I'm expecting to be diagnosed with lupus based on my test results. But my GP is kind of waiting to have the rheumatologist have the final say and officially diagnose and do more tests, etc. With all of that going on, I think it's best that we kind of maybe don't try, but at the same time we don't want to like lose our only opportunity potentially and not not try, I guess. So, but like I said, we're at a really weird point. This past cycle, I took soy isoflavones, but lost the bottle 2 days in, and so I only took it for 2 days, and I'm wondering if that messed everything up because I was using OPKs, which I haven't used in many, many years, but I decided, okay, why not? Let's put all of this into it. So I was using OPKs, and I never got a positive OPK. It was just like day after day of almost positive, and even now still, it's like there's been this constant elevated but not quite all the way elevated LH, so like moderate LH level. So I'm wondering if I have a functional cyst now because like I don't know. I've definitely had ovarian cysts like frequently. A couple of years ago now, I had after my 7-week loss, I had large ovarian cysts, grapefruit sized on one side, baseball sized on the other. So I had 2 large cysts that were very painful, and then they finally ruptured, and then it was fine. I had a follow-up ultrasound and had no cysts or no, I mean, I was, you know, there's cysts on my ovaries, but that's not abnormal. It's just follicular development, but not like these cysts. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm wondering if I have something going on with all of that. I don't really know what to think right now. I mean, I've been very, very stressed, and so there's a high likelihood with between COVID-19 and, well, I guess technically, no, George Floyd was after I would have ovulated, and so that's not directly impacting ovulation. And I know that when you're late on your period because of stress, it has to do with the first half of the cycle, delaying ovulation because of stress. It's not like you ovulate and then you are stressed and so you don't get your period. Like, that's not how it works. The 2-week wait part, stress won't cause your period to be late, from what I understand. So I'm guessing it's just my overall life stress plus maybe inflammation from autoimmune issues and everything impacting me. I'm just guessing because I have no idea what's going on. But the most frustrating part of all of this, honestly, is Facebook. So I can't figure this out. I have the app Ovia, which is supposed to track like my periods and ovulation and everything, and it is apparently connected to Facebook, even though I don't log in through Facebook with it. But it's definitely porting over info to Facebook, because I have found that when I get my period, I get ads on Facebook for tampons and the Flex cups and all of the like Diva cups, things like I get all of these ads for menstrual products. And then when I, well, missed a period by a week, Facebook's now assuming that I'm pregnant, and so my entire feed, every single ad is like for, you know, maternity clothing and, you know, baby monitors and, you know, like fetal Dopplers and like the baby box or the bump box, excuse me, and like all of these things that like really have no business showing up on my ads. But every single ad is related to pregnancy or having children, and it's really frustrating because it's like, I'm not pregnant, I'm barren at this point in time, and you are flooding my Facebook ad feed with freaking baby stuff. Like, that's really depressing. I'm glad that I'm in a good mental state where I'm not like really suffering with not being pregnant. If I was in a bad state, where a lot of women who deal with infertility are, I would be devastated seeing those ads. Like, there's no way. And so I've turned off like all these different settings and tried to really reset everything, and it's not helping. And the only thing that I can think of is I'm gonna have to like turn on, you know, the ad feed thing where like you go on Google and it ports the information over into Facebook, and I'm gonna have to just like Google a bunch of random things like Reese's Pieces and like Starbucks and, you know, coffee places here, and then maybe I'll get lots of coffee in my feed. I don't know, but clearly I need to reset this because it's not cool. Not cool, Facebook. Not cool. So I will update when I know more about everything. I don't know when I'm gonna get my period. For the last several days I've been like waking up and running to the bathroom because I'm assuming that I'm going to be starting, and I don't. Watch, it's probably going to be when I'm like halfway through a surgery and I can't do anything about it. That's probably what's going to happen. So yeah, we'll see. I'll update when I have more information there, and then of course I'll update when I get more information about my diagnosis with autoimmune issues, assuming I'm going to be diagnosed with lupus over the next couple of weeks here. And then I will just have to figure out how to navigate through all of that and the lifestyle changes I'm going to have to make, and yeah, everything. I have so many things to share, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I know none of us do, but it's just a change, very big change. So I will, like I said, I'll update when I know more, but in the meantime, feel free to ask me questions, like and subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos, and we shall see. All right, see you guys later.